Hey guys, thank you for joining me. Craig Ballard, 77.blogspot.com. NFC Championship Preview, Round 3, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers. We know that each team went 1-1 against each other this year, with each team winning on their own home field. Let's see what that means to the Chicago Bears, who will host the NFC Championship game this weekend. Round 3, for all the marbles, the winner going to represent the NFC in Super Bowl 45. Let's preview what we're going to take a look at in this game. Let's start when Green Bay has the football. And we know right now this guy, who's the new it guy in the NFL, who's the coming out party for this season, it's been Aaron Rodgers. This guy's on absolute fire. In particular in the playoffs, you're talking about 6 touchdowns versus 0 interceptions. He's been playing extremely well right now. And really the difference for Aaron Rodgers over the last couple of years has been the pass protection. This offensive line is keeping him upright at a significantly better pace. Rodgers was sacked 50 times in 2009. That was all the way down to 31 times this season in 2010. The offensive line really getting it done. He's getting great play from his tackles. You're talking about left tackle Chad Clifton, Pro Bowl. You're talking about right tackle Brian Bulaga, rookie, both doing a great job. If you give Rodgers time to distribute the football, he's got talent to throw it to. Are you kidding me? How about stud Greg Jennings at wide receiver? This guy has all the tools you could want in a wide receiver. Very much a real deal type guy. On the other side of the ball, are you kidding me? Donald Driver, the ageless Donald Driver. This guy is still playing well. This guy is still contributing. And Jordy Nelson has established himself as a real nice third wide receiver. He's getting a real nice connection, especially on third down with Aaron Rodgers. We'll look for him as well. Really, that is what you have to look for in this Green Bay offense, is the passing game. The running game, guys, it's really non-existent. They lost #1 running back Ryan Grant all the way back in week 1 and really didn't replace him for this entire season. Extremely lackluster running game. Brandon Jennings, a lot of ineffective play. Lately, they've been handing the ball off to rookie out of Buffalo, University of Buffalo Bulls, James Starks. But again, very mixed results. Not a lot going on in the Green Bay running game. The offense as a whole does do a very good job of extending drives on third down, but really, again, that's through the passing game. Now let's take a look at this Bears defense, the other side of the ball. Hey, you're talking about Brian Urlacher, you're talking about Lance Briggs, you're talking about Julius Peppers. 3 Pro Bowlers, 3 absolute monsters on that defense, getting it done for this Bears team. This is the Bears team that's #2 in the NFL for as a rush defense, average yards allowed on the ground. And in the 2 games against Green Bay, they only allowed 2.8 yards per carry to these Green Bay running backs. So really, we're not going to look for Green Bay to be able to muster anything on the ground on Sunday. That's going to put a lot of pressure on these Bears cornerbacks. You're talking about Charles Tillman, you're talking about Tim Jennings. There's going to be a lot of pressure on these guys throughout this game. We know this is a defense that traditionally is very good at getting off the field on third downs and traditionally is very good at creating turnovers. Very much a ball-hawking defense. Their goal is to get 3 turnovers every game. That's how they're taught in Chicago. That's what their philosophy is. That's what they preach in Chicago. And their defense is skilled enough and coached well enough that they can accomplish that. The stat that I look at in this game, in that Week 17 loss to Green Bay, this Bears defense had 0 sacks. That's the #1 thing I'm looking at this weekend. That has to improve. You cannot have Aaron Rodgers have time in that pocket. He will pick you apart. Even though it's going to be in Chicago, if you give him time, Bears defense, he will pick you apart. That's going to be huge. Now let's take a look at when the Bears have the football. And the offense for Chicago, hey, it's very interesting there. We saw in the offseason the marriage here of offensive coordinator Mike Martz and quarterback Jay Cutler. 2 guys who, not that long ago, would have each had significance in the NFL, but both have taken a step back the last couple of years. They really needed each other. And if you're talking about learning a Mike Martz system, there is going to be a learning curve there. And we saw that in the regular season. In fact, this Bears team, only Arizona and Carolina had less yards per game than this Bears team. That's the bad news. It did take some time to learn. The good news is it certainly is trending upward. In particular, lately, if we look at this this playoff game last week against Seattle, that was Jay Cutler's first playoff game ever. He throws for 2 touchdowns and he runs for 2 touchdowns. So they're really getting acclimatized to this system and really starting to click on the Chicago offense. The key for any Bears game under any circumstances is that offensive line. Jay Cutler sacked 52 times in the regular season. That is a humongous amount. Sacked 3 times last week in the win against Seattle. And in the 2 games against Green Bay this season, the Packers got to Cutler 9 times. We know that those numbers have to greatly improve. If you give Jay Cutler time, he's got weapons. He's got Johnny Knox. Johnny Knox, 4.23 speed. He's a playmaker. He's got third-year wide receiver Earl Bennett, very solid as well. He's got tight end Greg Olsen, who's got a real nice chemistry going with. And they'll still run packages to try to get the football to Devin Hester as well. We know they try to save Hester more or less to be the amazing kick returner he is, but they'll still get him the football on offense as well. So the Bears, in general, getting better and better on offense. We take a look at this Green Bay defense now. Extremely stingy, extremely aggressive defense. They only yield 15 points per game, #2 in the entire NFL, and an extremely impressive number. For the regular season, middle of the pack, statistically speaking, against the run. But in these playoffs, That front seven has been outstanding against Philadelphia and against Atlanta, taking away those running games. You look at, this is a team that led the NFC with 47 sacks. Clay Matthews kicking huge ass with 13.5, leading that team. This was also a defense that led the NFC in interceptions with 24. Tramon Williams leading the team with 6. And Tramon Williams in these playoffs, he's already got 3. He's on one corner. You have the defending Defensive Player of the Year, Charles Woodson, on the other. They get extremely good production out of this secondary. How about outside linebacker Eric Walden? Just signed. This is how fresh he is. He just came to the team on Halloween night. Very fresh to this situation, on these playoffs in particular. This guy's been on fire. I think we see a lot here to analyze and to digest. Honestly, I think there's a lot to say that Green Bay could win this game. I'm actually going to say the exact same score earlier in the season on the same field. Green Bay 17, Chicago 20. Chicago's going to win this game 20-17. They're going to represent the NFC in Super Bowl 45. Craig Ballard, 77.blogspot.com. You know I appreciate it.